What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. I'm Uthman here from Home Gym Muscle, and today I wanted to do an unboxing and a quick review of the Captains of Crush grippers. The Captains of Crush hand grippers are the gold standard in hand grips on the market right now, and they have been for a very long time a barometer of strength or a measure of strength for those in the strength and fitness game. I have here a collection of 10 grippers, all of them, the complete set except for the Captain of Crush 3.5. And as you can see, they're all in great condition. They're still in the original packaging. So what I'm going to do for you today is go through each one from the weakest strength grip to the highest grip that I can do, and do an attempt and a closing of each one of them. Predict that I'm probably going to be able to close the COC number 2 and try to gauge myself from there. At least that's what I'm hoping. And my intention with this is to give everybody a realistic review of which kind or which number of COC gripper may be right for them. Now, to give everybody a starting gauge of where I'm at in terms of hand grip strength, I have here 2 heavy grips. These are from the brand Heavy Grips. And it's they're not the same strength gauge as the Captains of Crush grips, but I have here the 200-pound heavy grip and the 250-pound rated heavy grip. And these are 2 grips that I can close. So I just wanted to kind of start off the video just to give everybody a starting point of how, my hand grip strength is and in comparison. So this one is the 200. See there, hope you can see the number there. This is the 200 heavy grip, 200-pound heavy grip. And this one here is the 250. Just setting it and then closing it. So for official results, or for the official, to officially be counted as closing a Captain of Crush gripper, you do have to make the 2 ends meet and they do have to touch. So that's the official way of closing them. I'm going to start opening them up and give you a brief review of each and every one of them. All right, guys, so this is the gripper guide over here. I'm going to open it up again, unsealed. I'm going to open up this packaging. If I can figure that out. There we go. The guide is rated at 60 pounds. Now these ratings, some people don't feel they're accurate, but I'm going to give it a shot. The guide is the beginning one, and literally this feels like nothing. So this is something that you can close maybe for reps. This is also something you can close with less fingers, just to train yourself on off days, or on weaker hands, or just maybe when you're driving or you have a little bit of spare time. So that is the guide, and the guide is probably just an introduction to the set, to the rest of the grippers, just to give you a feel and handle on how the rest of them are gonna react. All right. So this one is the Gripper Sport. This is the next size up. I'm gonna open that one up as well. This is the Gripper Sport. So this actually to me feels like one of those, the regular type of grippers you would get in Walmart or in the stores or whatever, or the ones that you can close for about 50 reps or so. That's what this one feels like. So this is called the Gripper Sport. Probably for people who are, again, just looking for something on the side to do casually while they're watching TV, or people who have very weak grip strength. Okay, next up I have the Trainer. Putting up the Trainer. The Trainer is rated at about 100 pounds. Just setting my hand over here. There you go. This one I knew there wouldn't be a problem closing this. This one feels just slightly harder than the Sport version. So again, maybe a good point for people who want to train grip to start, or this is probably a good one for somebody who's very athletic or who's already very fit, just to keep in their back pocket, or to have around while they're lounging or at their desk or whatever, and they just want to have something active to do or fidget with. Okay, so here we have the 0.5. We're getting into the numbers. This one is rated at 120 pounds, so it's probably going to be a little bit of a jump from the trainer. Always gets stuck right around that coil over there. Okay, 0.5, 120 pounds. Okay. Good one. So this one just feels a little bit harder than that one. This one is definitely a challenge, I would say, for people who are not used to strength training or grip training. You know, but this is probably a good one for people to start with, I would say. If you've been lifting for any amount of time, or you're fairly athletic or fairly fit, or you do, you know, powerlifting or whatever you might be, this is probably a good one for you to keep aside just for really beginning stuff. Everything else that's below this is probably not worth it for you. This is probably something you would want to keep just for warm-ups. Okay, so this is the number one. This one is rated at 140 pounds. So let's open this one up. COC number one. Okay, so again, closed. This one actually feels, I'll be honest with you, so it's rated at 140 pounds or so. This almost feels like the Heavy Grip 200. So this one would be a challenge for most people to close, I would imagine. So whether or not you're a fit person or, you know, into bodybuilding or fitness or powerlifting, whatever it might be, I think this one would be challenging for a lot of people to do a lot of reps in. You may be able to close it once or twice, but to get a couple of reps in this one, it could be challenging. The thing I want to note, I just want to pause over here and just mention, is that the Captain of Crush grippers, the difference, major difference between all the other hand grips that you may have been used to, is that the handles are spread wider. So it makes it harder to close. This is the Gripper 1.5. This one is rated at about 167.5 pounds. Give this one a shot. Setting it over here. Okay. Okay. This one is definitely, you know, a little bit stronger than that one. Honestly, I don't really feel that much of a difference from the 1 to the 1.5. Just as easy, I would say, as closing the COC number one. So I don't know if it's me or if it's, you know, tension in the springs might be, you know, there might be a little bit of variance in the production, because that is always the case. But to me, this one was, you know, just as easy as the number one to close. Probably a good one for most serious lifters or people who've been lifting for any amount of time to start off with, I would say. So if it were me, this is probably where I would start off with, and then proceed to get, you know, gradually heavier grips from here. Okay, here we go. This is the number two. This is the one that's rated at 195 pounds. So I'm hoping I can close it, because judging by my strength in the heavy grips, 200 and 250 pound ones that I can close, I'm hoping this one is also going to be a breeze. Let's see. Okay, so again, it's a little bit hard to set your hands because the handles are that much wider apart than what I am typically used to. Here we go. 1, 2. Just barely. Just barely. And I think it's just because they're that much wider that I'm having a little bit of trouble getting used to the handle. I may have to mess around with these a little bit more. Okay, so here we go. One more try. Just barely, man. Just barely. Too bad. I really wanted to close this one. I really thought I had it in the bag after closing the 1 and the 1.5 pretty easily. But it seems like the jump from the 1.5 to the 2 is a pretty big one. So this is probably, you know, this is probably one you're going to want to buy just to work up to. This is one that I'm going to work with over the next couple of weeks and whatever, the next couple of, in the short term. And I'm going to try to work on closing this one before I move on with the rest. So, I mean, needless to say, this is what I can't close this officially. I can get almost there, like, you know, I'm probably a couple of millimeters away, but I want to take the COC number 2 and I'm going to start actively training with this one, and with hopes of going on to the 2.5 and possibly greater, possibly beyond that in the short future. So again, just to show you a difference in the width of the handle spread over here, these are the COCs. These are the heavy grips that I've been using for the past couple of years. You can see when I line them up over here how much of a difference there is. Can line them up over here. The heavy grips are definitely narrower. That's what makes them a little bit easier to close. When I kind of keep it like this, you can see the COCs flare out in the back because they are that much wider. I'm going to go ahead and open up the gripper number 2.5 anyway, simply because I know that I'm going to be trying to work with this one. Even though I know I can't close it, I can't close the number 2, I definitely won't be able to close the 2.5, but I am just going to open it up for the sake of it. And it is going to be something that I may be training with in the short future. At least that's what I hope so. And I do plan on keeping it, so it's no use, you know, keeping it in its nice packaging. Okay, so this is the COC 2.5. It's rated close to 240 pounds. Let's see how I go. Okay, not even close. So you can tell, like, you know, how far I am away from that goal. But I think, guys, part of the reason that makes declosing them so challenging is because of that width of the handles. I think the width of the handles, once you bring it past down the width of the coil, it becomes that much harder to just make the handles touch and officially close the grippers to be counted. Also, because of the way of that design and because the handles are spread out so wide, it makes sure that you use all of the strength of your fingers. So in a heavy grip over here, this is the 250 right now. This is 250. Over here, you can probably get away with focusing most of your strength from your top 4 fingers, or the top 3 fingers, I should say. But with this one, you have to actually focus on strength on every part of your hand or all of your fingers, meaning even the pinky side, which tends to be the weakest finger. So just to get it past that point of neutral in the middle, when the handles are kind of parallel to touching, it really takes all the effort of the bottom of your hand to get it to touch together. That's my theory, at least. So there you have it. I opened up all of the COC grippers that I had, and I was able to close. I was able to go all the way up to the 1.5, and I was able to close that one. And I was pretty close with the number 2, just a couple of millimeters away from closing it, but not quite. I'm going to keep the number 3 and the number 4 in their packaging, of course. Don't think I'm going to be trying to attempt them anytime soon. So I'm just going to keep them aside until I actually get much stronger and try to give that attempt. I have one of the grippers over here. This is 0.5, and I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and show everybody a couple of other ways that you can actually use the grippers over here. So I have, obviously, the first way that you can use them is by just palming them in your hand and trying to use all of your fingers to close them. This is just like the normal way of doing it. Another way that you can use the grippers is upside down method. So you can turn the handles upside down and try to strengthen the upper part of the hand, or the top 2 fingers primarily. This works out. So that's one way of doing it. So I grabbed the Sport over here just to show you a couple of other examples on how you can use it to strengthen your weak points. Turning it upside down over here, you can offset it to work at the bottom 3 fingers as opposed to the entire hand, keeping it in a regular, kind of position. Here I'm offsetting my pinky, and I'm using it to strengthen the top 3 fingers of my hand. Another way that you can use the Captain of Crush grippers is by simply squeezing them together and holding them for max duration of time. That's one popular method. And then slowly releasing on the opening. It's a good technique to use that on some of the heavier grippers as well. So if I have, the number 1 over here, I could use, and this is a little bit too hard for you to close, what you can do is also use with the assistance of your other hand, close them together, hold it for as long as you can, because you should be able to, and then slowly release. That's called working the negative, or working the eccentric part of the movement. So guys, another way that you can actually use the COCs is if you're working up to a weight, or you're working up to another gripper, just like I am trying to close the number 2, and I'm just a couple of millimeters away. One thing you may want to do is just grab the gripper in a regular position, palm it properly, and with the assistance of pressing down against your, your leg or your hip, or, kind of soft cushion position, press it down until it's closed, and then quickly release the hand grip on your own. That's one way to actually work the negative portion of the hand grip. If you can find a way to close your hand around the grip and hold it just for a couple of seconds as you're slowly opening it, and try to control that, you should be able to strengthen your grip over time. So that's it, guys. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching and tuning in, and I hope you found it beneficial. Please do like and subscribe to the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.